Hello, my name is Maureen Brooker, and I am a graduate of the University of Guelph. I would like to welcome you to the College of Biological Science convocation ceremony this morning. The University of Guelph is honored by our graduands, and we take great pride in convocation. I'd like to tell you a little bit about the proceedings today. The ceremonials used for conferring degrees have evolved over a millennium, and the gowns and hoods represent that history. In general, the gowns for the baccalaureate and the magisteriate degrees are black, and the color of the hood is different for each degree program. The doctorates at the University of Guelph have a bright blue gown, and the honorary degrees are red. The University of Guelph crest that you can see on the curtains behind me and shown on the cover of the convocation program also represents our specific history. The emblems in the crest show links with the Royal City of Guelph through the white stallion above, the connection to liberal arts through the book, to the sciences through the astrolabe, and our connections to abundance and agriculture through the cornucopia. The University of Guelph motto, Rerum Cognocere Causis, is a quote from Virgil. It is variously translated to be either, happy is the one who is able to ascertain the reason of things, or, perhaps, to know the meaning of things. The procession of people into the hall are also influenced by ancient tradition. The piper will herald the start of the procession of graduands, the students who are coming to graduate today. This will be followed by the arrival of the mace leading the platform party. The mace is a symbol of authority of the university and will be carried by the beadle. In medieval universities, a beadle was chosen by the instructor to work as an assistant. Today, the beadle is the ceremonial officer of Senate. Following the beadle and mace is the provost, members of the administration and honorees, fellows of the university, members of the board and senate, and members of faculty and staff. The degrees will be conferred in the order that you see in your program. The degrees are separated by categories representing the specific degree being awarded within the college. We will begin with doctorates and magisteriates, followed by the baccalaureate degrees. The name reader will present scholars to the provost by degree category. As the name of each student is called, the beadle will place the hood over the recipient's shoulders. This moment will be videoed, and, technology willing, there will be a simultaneous live cast of the event to allow family members and friends to watch from a distance. The provost will greet each student at center stage, and a photograph will be taken. We understand the joy and excitement accompanying such an auspicious occasion, but we ask that you hold your applause until after each group of graduands has crossed the stage. There will be an opportunity for a truly thunderous applause. Once all the degrees are conferred and all the cheers are cheered, the provost will close the ceremony and a recessional will play. Please remain standing during the recessional until all the platform party has processed out of the hall. Our colleagues from Alumni Affairs and Development are hosting a social media program developed especially for convocation. Please share your photos, memories, and advice with graduating students by joining us on social media and using the hashtag #GuelphGrad. Finally, may I be the first person to congratulate the graduands on their various successes and offer my congratulations to the family and friends who are here to support them. Welcome to the convocation at the University of Guelph.
glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
While you are standing, please consider in your heart for one moment the land on which you stand. Join me to acknowledge and thank the diverse indigenous peoples whose footsteps have marked this territory for centuries, such as the Attawandaron, Haudenosaunee, and Anishinaabe peoples. There is a story of a fellow who's running really late for a business meeting in downtown Manhattan. He can't find a parking spot and knows the deal will go bust if he's late. After circling the block 7 times with no success, he looks on high and offers a deal. Find me a spot and I'll be righteous from now on, I promise. At that very moment, a car pulls out of a parking space right in front of him. Turning heavenward, he says, "You know what? Scratch that last deal. I found a spot on my own." It's a joke, but it carries an important message. We all need to carve a place in our heart, to develop a talent, to be truly grateful people. You see, a truly grateful person does not need an unexpected windfall to feel a deep sense of gratitude. A genuinely grateful person looks for, finds, and recognizes what others take for granted, the courtesies, kindness, and compassion that fill their lives but go largely unnoticed. I would encourage you to take a few moments each day and consider all those in your life who gave of themselves so you can be the person you are today. For those who turn a corner on this road and see but blessings and opportunities, those are the people that manage a sea change, an enormous turnaround, as the microscope turns from a self-centered focus to the telescope that embraces one and all. All of you have abilities and talents that can have a positive effect for the entire humankind. You need but remember one adage, that the people not like us are still people like us. At this important moment, and for eternity, it is critical to be cognizant that in everyone's life there are a plethora of things, of setbacks, misfortunes, and tragedies. At the same time, there are always an enormous amount we take for granted. As we mature, we recognize that virtually every relationship turns on one sentiment, one attitude, and one value. Are we going to be resentful for all we lack, or will we focus on the multitude for which we take for granted, for which we could be grateful? Are we going to become paralyzed in hardship as we lay blame on others and refuse to take personal responsibility to move on, or are we going to find the fortitude and courage to label the past as just that, the past, with many tomorrows to conquer and enjoy? Thank you. You may be seated.
Good afternoon and welcome, members of the board, honorary fellows and faculty of the university, family and friends, and most important, graduates. I also extend a particular welcome to this morning's student medal winner, Melanie Wills, and convocation speaker, Professor David Josephy. They will be introduced to you formally in a moment. Welcome to the celebration of convocation at the University of Guelph. My name is Charlotte Yates, and I am the Provost and Vice President Academic at the University of Guelph, and I have the added privilege today of serving as the acting Vice-Chancellor for today's convocation. I'm pleased to welcome you to this convocation, and as we begin today, let me start with a few congratulatory remarks. First off, graduates, this is a big day, and it's your big day. You've worked hard, you persevered, and by sitting here today, you tell us all and the rest of the world that you have made it. You have accomplished this. Well done and well deserved. Graduation Day is all about transitions, moving from one thing to another, and it's one of a number of important transitions that you've all made over the last several years. Last fall, we had an opportunity to welcome our new first-year students onto the University of Guelph campus. We reminded them at that time that besides being the incoming class of 2015, they were the graduating class of 2019. That was a moment of traveling forward in time. Just for a moment, let's travel backwards in time to your own arrival to campus just a few years ago. Do you remember how it felt to set foot on campus for the first time as new students? Mixture of excitement, a little anticipation, maybe a little nervous, a little confidence, hope, and perhaps a little fear all at the same time. Well, by sitting here today, you tell us all that you figured it out. You explored campus, you navigated your classrooms and laboratories, found friends and mentors, and perhaps discovered the wider Guelph community. And maybe most important, you discovered a lot about yourselves. It has been a time of transition, going from what you were to what you would become, including, by the way, becoming Griffins. Now it's time for the next transition in your life, and maybe you're feeling a familiar mix of hope and optimism, together with some trepidation and uncertainty. So think back over the past few years of your time at the University of Guelph. You leave us today having gained a body of knowledge in your field and having had a chance to study and work with renowned teachers and researchers. As part of a learning-centered, research-intensive campus, you've witnessed breakthroughs in scholarship and research here. You have been part of a diverse and welcoming community opening to differing opinions and shared learning and discovery. And what you have learned goes way beyond strict subject matter and what you learned in the classroom. An important part of our mission as a university has been to provide you with the tools to successfully adapt and navigate through the complexities and dynamics of a modern society. In our fast-paced world, the gap between knowledge generation and knowledge application has narrowed. New ideas become new products at an unprecedented pace. Information and communication technologies and the related democratization of learning and knowledge have become game changers. Effectively, the distance between today and tomorrow has narrowed. That presents challenges and great opportunities for all of us. A key challenge with change and transition is uncertainty, the very thing you may be feeling or facing right now. Uncertainty is a challenge, but it's also a wonderful opportunity. The opportunity lies in what we call the upside of uncertainty, taking uncertainty and change and adapting in a healthy way. What does that mean? Here on campus, it means that our researchers and scholars anticipate problems and opportunities, and they develop solutions to problems that we don't even know exist yet. For you graduates, it means working hard, getting the job done, and getting it done well, all while preparing yourself to be the future thinkers and leaders of our communities. Here at the University of Guelph, we have tried to help you learn to adapt to and indeed thrive in tomorrow's ever-changing world. We have looked to provide not just curriculum and coursework, but also life skills, or the tools for you to use in your lifelong survival kit. Today, you face a new transition. Some of you will continue on to graduate school, others will move right into the world of work. Others of you will travel and perhaps spend some time thinking about what lies ahead and the next steps. Whatever your next move, here at the University of Guelph, we have attempted to provide you with the analytic, qualitative, and communication skills you need to look beyond the world today and to succeed through innovation and problem solving in new and interesting ways. You have learned, I hope, about adaptation and creativity. In effect, you have learned how to learn, and that's a good thing. For as you leave behind the formal classrooms and laboratories, your learning does not end today. In many ways, it's just beginning. Lifelong learning is what we call that officially. The process of learning and adapting and applying that learning in new and exciting ways over your careers and over your entire lifetimes. We call it turning knowledge into action, bringing breakthrough ideas to life in powerful ways that change people's lives. You spent the past few years as part of the university community, and I hope you've also had a chance to learn where you fit within that broader community. Taking that wider view will be essential for you in tomorrow's world. The problems out there are multifaceted, complex ones. Over the years, you will see that you will need to bring together different perspectives, blend knowledge and ideas from different disciplines, and apply that knowledge in innovative and exciting ways. That's knowledge in action. That's finding the upside of uncertainty. As you enter this exciting new stage of your lives, I encourage you to draw upon all of your University of Guelph experiences as learners, as well as members of a very special community, and to bring the best you have to offer to every experience. Continue taking pride in your achievements. Embrace the opportunities that arrive. Look to create your own opportunities, opportunities that will shape our future, opportunities to redefine who we are, and to see the future through a broader lens. Universities are among the few places in society where a large part of our purpose is to foster ideas and innovation, to dream and to inspire hope. It's exciting. They're bold and imaginative places, and you've been part of one of those places for the last few years. I encourage you to find ways to take what you have learned here to engage with and make a difference in your world, in all of our worlds. Amidst all this uncertainty, though, there is one thing I can tell you for sure. Once a Griffin, always a Griffin. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. The Doctoral D.F. Forster Medal is one of the university's most prestigious graduate student convocation awards and is named in honor of Professor Donald F. Forster, a former president of the University of Guelph. This medal is awarded annually to a PhD student to recognize academic achievement, motivation, leadership, and citizenship. Madam Provost, I have the honor of presenting to you this year's recipient of the Doctoral D.F. Forster Medal, Melanie Wills. Melanie has been an outstanding graduate student. Over the course of her doctoral studies in my laboratory, she has shown academic genius, innovation in research, strong leadership abilities, and multidimensional extracurricular achievements. Melanie's research has linked the new cell signaling protein to human brain tumors. These important findings have led to numerous research publications in prestigious journals, and Melanie has earned many accolades for her research. She has also authored a massive review article on this protein and its family, which highlights her impressive capacity for hard work, concentration, and persistence. In addition to the many hours spent on her research, Melanie has also demonstrated leadership in education. She earned an award in curriculum innovation for a first-year seminar course that she designed and instructed. Here, her goal was to inspire students to think critically about science and its portrayal in the media. Melanie further developed very successful content for an inverted classroom, and she held a new executive position for graduate students within the Ontario Consortium of Undergraduate Biology Educators, which is also known as OCUBE. At the completion of her PhD, her thesis was described by the external examiner, Professor Jane McGlade of the University of Toronto, as being of outstanding quality. But there's more. Melanie's talents go well beyond science and the teaching of science. She is a highly respected and award-winning literary, photo, and film artist within the local arts community. She has combined her creative skills and scientific knowledge in many surprising ways. For instance, during the University of Guelph Science Olympics, which is an event held on campus for high school students, Melanie created a series of videos in the style of TV medical mysteries, and these gave the students the opportunity to immerse themselves in a problem-solving situation involving an infectious disease. In addition to helping run the events, she recorded these proceedings and produced a documentary segment for the university's Communications and Public Affairs. Most recently, Melanie has founded the Canadian Lyme Science Alliance with Mount Allison professor Vet Lloyd. Dr. Lloyd studies the spread and human impact of the tick-borne illness Lyme disease, which is an emerging health issue in Canada. Through her postdoctoral studies, Melanie aims to increase the awareness of Lyme disease, as well as improve diagnosis and patient care. Altogether, the breadth of Melanie's accomplishments and her engagement within our community make her an exceptional and very worthy candidate of this highly esteemed award, the D.F. Forster Medal. Congratulations, Melanie.
Thank you very much, and congratulations, Melanie. This morning's convocation address will be delivered by David Josephy. A professor at Guelph for the past 33 years, Dr. Josephy is an eminent biochemist, a well-liked and much appreciated teacher, and an integral part of the life of the university. I'm pleased to invite Professor David Josephy to now give the convocation address.
Madam Provost, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, graduates. First, I'd like to acknowledge the contribution made by our sign language interpreters, doing a fantastic job today. You didn't feel a thing. You were probably still in bed. It was about 6 a.m. last September 14th. It was the first week of classes. No, you didn't feel a thing. But for a few milliseconds, your body was slightly squeezed and then slightly stretched as a gravitational wave passed through our planet. You didn't feel a thing because the amplitude of the wave was about 1 part in 10 to the power of 21. A million, billion. So your body stretched by about 1/10 of 1% of the diameter of a proton. No, you didn't notice it. But the LIGO, the Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory detectors in Washington State and Louisiana, they did. The first detection of gravitational waves has opened a new window on the universe, just as Galileo did when he pointed his telescope at Jupiter. How wonderful that it was this discovery which was the bell that sounded your final lap at the University of Guelph. Gravitational waves are similar to the radio waves that transmit the signals to the mobile phones in your pockets, which I hope have been set to Do Not Disturb. However, there's no Do Not Disturb setting for a gravitational wave detector because these waves are ripples in the very fabric of space-time itself. To generate a gravitational wave, you need to move something heavy. Say something that is about 30 times as massive as the sun. You need to move it really fast, say about half the speed of light. In fact, the event that generated September's ripple in space-time happened 1 billion years ago, 1 billion light years away. It was the inspiral and coalescence of two massive black holes. For just a fraction of a second, this cosmic collision was producing more power than the rest of the universe put together. And just 2 days ago, that was on Wednesday, the LIGO team announced detection of the second gravitational wave event, a collision of a pair of rather smaller black holes, a wave train of 55 cycles that traversed the solar system late on Christmas Day, 2015. And that ripple lasted for a full second. Well, I don't have time to tell you all about LIGO, the superb optical instrument that detected the gravitational waves. But LIGO is so accurate that it can measure a distance distortion equivalent to a shift of 10 microns, which is about the diameter of a red blood cell, in 1 light year. Making the most accurate measurements in scientific history required pushing the technologies of laser beams, vacuum systems, and computers to their limits. The mirrors that direct the laser beams are polished so precisely that their shapes deviate from perfection by a thickness that they measure in atoms. But I do want to draw a few lessons from the LIGO project. First, science has taught us that the universe is vast on a scale that not even Isaac Newton could have imagined. But don't let that depress you. Because as far as we know, Earthlings are the only creatures in the galaxy, perhaps in the entire universe, that can experience joy, wonder, or even depression for that matter. So that ought to cheer you up. Second, there are no limits on the human imagination. Einstein predicted the existence of gravitational waves 100 years ago, long before anyone dreamed they might be detectable. It was a triumph of the intellect. When you hear people speculate, as you will, that computers are soon going to render human brains obsolete, don't believe them. Third, today science is mainly a team enterprise. The report announcing the discovery of gravitational waves had 1,011 authors. I know, I counted them. So whether you're planning for a career in science or in another field, be prepared to work in a team. As our technologies become more and more sophisticated, no one person can be an expert on all of them. Fourth, embrace diversity. Be a citizen of the world. When you look at the surnames in that long list of authors, Allen, Kondrashov, Kumar, Nguyen, Yamamoto, you're going to hear a similarly wide range when you listen to the dean reading the names of our graduates in a few minutes. In the words of geneticist Richard Lewontin, the differences that people are constantly emphasizing for social purposes don't have any biological basis. So my address is nearly done. Thank you for listening patiently. If my remarks have stretched your mind just a little bit, I will have done my job. So soon you will depart. Go and make us proud, and please do come back and visit. You'll always be welcome back here. Thank you.
Good morning, friends. My name is Malcolm Campbell. I'm Vice President of Research here at University of Guelph. I'd like to take a moment just to reflect on things that some of us have shared. Like some of you, sitting towards the back of the room, I've sat here as a parent waiting for my graduate to cross this stage. Like others of you, I have sat here as a life partner waiting for my spouse to cross the stage. And actually, I saw two young people at the back. I also have sat in this room waiting for my mother to cross this stage. And like 123 of you, I sat here, actually 30 years ago to the day, I might add, as a CBS student waiting to cross this stage myself. I've also shared with some of you in this room the great fortune of having been taught by David Josephi. I can see some smiles and some nods around the room. He doesn't like to admit that I actually was taught by him, but I will say that. And like all of you, I've had the great pleasure today to sit in rapt attention, listening to Professor Josephi deliver words of wisdom, where he has conveyed to us his enthusiasm and passion for what it does, and shared with us amongst the most fascinating things that the universe has to offer. It's entirely appropriate that he use gravitational waves as his metaphor today, because like gravitational waves, Professor Josephi's influence will ripple through your lives for many years to come. But unlike gravitational waves, his influence will not be imperceptible. In fact, it will be perceptible, because he has imbued you with knowledge, enthusiasm, fascination, and passion for what you do. Let us thank him together for his both inspired and inspiring address today. So, as I said, like 123 of you, and indeed graduate students as well, because my PhD is also from University of Guelph, I have sat here in this room waiting to cross the stage. So this is the moment that you've been waiting for. As I look in the room, and I'm glad to see some smiling faces, and hopefully I'm seeing more, that's better, much better. I know that you should be feeling great feelings of pride right now, and also a certain amount of relief. And I would note that I see a gradient of relief that rises towards the back of the room. So I share this with you by way of providing you with a little bit of direction. This is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Make sure that you make it as rich as it possibly can be. I'll give you a couple of cues coming up where you can really let loose with your passion, but wait until I give a really clear signal. So when I ask the class to rise, that's not the time, but there will be a signal that follows on from that. With that, now is the moment that you've all been waiting for. Will the graduating class please rise? Madam Provost, I have the honor to present to you these scholars who fulfilled the statutory requirements laid down by the Senate of the University of Guelph, that they may be admitted to their various and several degrees.
By virtue of the authority vested in me and in the University of Guelph, I hereby accept you for admission to your various and several degrees, with all the rights, privileges, and obligations appertaining thereto. Let us all congratulate these scholars on their accomplishments.
Okay, so fellow CBS grads, I know you can do better than that. Once more, with heart, with spirit, this is the time to whoop it up. Congratulations. Fantastic. You've made us proud Griffins. Will the members of the graduating class please be seated?
Good morning, graduates, and proud family and friends of the graduates. My name is Teresa Crease, and I'm the Associate Dean of Graduate Studies. I'm sure you'll be excited, perhaps a little relieved, certainly happy to see your graduate walk across this stage and be greeted by the provost, and you may want to express your happiness and celebration in some audible manner, and we encourage you to do just that. However, may we ask that general applause be held until conferring of all of the degrees within a program. I will let you know when it's the appropriate time. Thank you. Madam Provost, I have the honor to present to you these scholars from the College of Biological Science that they may be admitted to the degree Doctor of Philosophy. Siobhan Carlo. Christian Donve Marco Castroverde. Kyla Cochran. Christopher Lamb. Does he have to come back? Scott Mazurkowicz. Maureen Magura Mundia. Veronique Louise Taylor. Michael Chewo To. He's got to come back. Mulaney Catherine B. Wills. Please join me in congratulating all of our doctoral scholars. Madam Provost, I have the honor to present to you these scholars from the College of Biological Science that they may be admitted to the degree of Master of Science. Abdallah Mahmoud Albili. Shalape Grace Bamikali. Catherine Elise Blake. J.W. Trent Faultless. Vaughn Oliver Garcia. Gagandeep Gill. Lisa Eva Harris. Quentin Heffel. Brittany Ashton Kay. Shannon Margaret Perry. Thank you. Oh, thanks. Last one. Oh, sorry. George William Payne. Margaret Pogorski. Please join me in congratulating all of our master's scholars.
Madam Provost, I have the honor to present to you these scholars from the College of Biological Science that they may be admitted to the degree Bachelor of Science Honors Program. James Jewett Excelson, with distinction. Erin Alexandra Albom, with distinction. Darian Cruz Aman. Aaron Angeles, with distinction. Megan Ruth Austin. Sean Robert Avey, with distinction. Ariana Carolyn Balbar, with distinction. Anne Millie Beverly Foster. Taryn Chelsea Blino. Shannon Louise Bottrell, with distinction. Kelsey Agnes breather. Catherine Grace Brogan. Carly Katie Cantera, with distinction. Siobhan Margaret Churchill, with distinction. Megan Elizabeth Crombie. Angeli Dabadine, with distinction. Maylee Ann Devlin, with distinction. Connor John Doherty, with distinction. Katia Dovigo, with distinction. Ryan Michael Eagleson. Lauren Kristen Fadak. Crystalline Laureen Feltz. Brianna Philippe, with distinction. Elisa Jang. Anthony Pio Frank Giardino. Caitlin Gillum, with distinction. Serena Ruth Gingrich. Brandon Ryan Golding, with distinction. Megan Asta Hamilton, with distinction. Lindsay Madison Heyman. Claire Eileen Hedden, with distinction. Valerie Emma Henderson, with distinction. Gregory Taylor Hewitt, with distinction. Gregory Seth Heyman, with distinction. Ashley Caitlin Hogg, with distinction. Sarah Louise Hyatt, with distinction. Keaton Alexander Inkle, with distinction. Barbara Mary Inrig Peters. Kristen Nicole Jacob. Venus Haraba. Rachel Jean Jeffers, with distinction. Karis Sarah Jones, with distinction. Craig M. Yurkovich. Lauren Elizabeth Cadwell. Melissa Lee Kawaja. Thomas Mackenzie Kerr. Brittany Victoria King, with distinction. Eden Ashley Kinzel, with distinction. Kara Clote. Alexandra Kobalinski. Emily Kraft. Malika Laddick, with distinction. Nicole Louise LaRoche. Sarah Francesca Latour, with distinction. Melissa Ashley Leishman. Renee Carla Lurie, with distinction. Joshua Daniel Macedo. Melissa Lynn Marie McLeod Bigley. Jordan Patrick Mayu. Natalie Maureen Martak, with distinction. Sloan Caitlin Massey, with distinction. Evan McKenzie. Philip Mueller. Meera Navaratnam. Sarah Nersessian, with distinction. Kaylee Ann Nimala. Abira Paramsothi. Krista Daniela Party, with distinction. Madison Alicia Pereira. Lee Pham, with distinction. Rochelle Melinda Reed. Lauren Brittany Rennie, with distinction. Fiona Sayoun. Michael Gregory Saris. Jessica Christine Shantz, with distinction. Sarah Catherine Shaw, with distinction. Dustin Robert Sheen. Samantha Rebecca Sherman. Matthew James Sikorsky. Elizabeth Mienko Kathleen Silk, with distinction. Marissa Skinner. Laura Catherine Strauss. Alexander James Ross Stubbs. Fallen Victoria Grace Stuckey. Nathan Joseph Stutt, with distinction. Jessica Sue, with distinction. Julia Carmen Sunga, with distinction. Brianne Courtney Tavares. Tino Topic. Caroline Tararva. Jinquo Wang. Kimberly Wattam, with distinction. Jennifer Elizabeth Wellwood. Paige Jeanette Whitehead. Kate Aiko Wickham, with distinction. Oliver Andrew Yee, with distinction. Irene Yin Lau, with distinction. Jade Yip. Haley Lauren York. Wait. Yeah. Please join me in congratulating these graduates. Just one of you, right? Madam Provost, I have the honor to present to you this scholar from the College of Biological Science that she may be admitted to the degree Bachelor of Science General Program. Evelina Voesho. Please join me in congratulating this graduate. Madam Provost, I have the honor to present to you these scholars from the College of Biological Science that they may be admitted to the degree Bachelor of Science in Environmental Sciences honors program. Todd Hagerdorn. Susanna McQuarrie Ripley, with distinction. Please join me in congratulating all of the graduates.
Before we move on to the next formality, please join me in thanking both Professor Kreis and Dean Newman for their excellent job in presenting our scholars today. Between the two of them, 21 and 102 names altogether, so well done both. Madam Provost, I would ask you to confer the various and several degrees on the graduates listed in the program, but unable to be present at this ceremony.
By virtue of the authority vested in me and in the University of Guelph, I confer the various and several degrees in absentia on the graduates not present. Well, graduates, as you sit before us, congratulations. You are now University of Guelph degree holders and members of the Griffin alumni family. Congratulations. And as Griffin alumni, you join a growing family. This week, more than 3,400 new graduates are joining that family. University of Guelph alumni number over 125,000 around the world at present. So I expect in the days, weeks, months, years ahead, you will bump into other Griffins along the way. We are all proud of your accomplishments here at the University of Guelph and look forward to seeing how the foundations you have developed as a student support you in the future. We want to celebrate your achievements and successes and hope you will stay in touch. Remember, you are always welcome on the University of Guelph campus. Graduates, you've made memories here, including new ones today. Remember this as well. You are a student for a very short time, although when it's a PhD, it feels a little longer. But you are a Griffin forever. We never let you go. That concludes our formal convocation ceremony, but I would like to make a few announcements before we depart. Dean Jonathan Newman is hosting a reception for all graduates and their guests at Creelman Hall. This is an opportunity to congratulate one another, celebrate, introduce your family to your campus friends. So I do hope you'll join Dean Newman in the celebration. Graduates, once you have taken all the photographs, would you please return your hood and your gown to the tent outside? It's tempting to run off with it in the excitement, but we'd appreciate if you would return. And one more note. This week we have over 22 convocation ceremonies. Waiting outside is the next group of families who are eager to see their graduate walk across the stage. So if I could ask you to help us prepare the hall for that event by exiting through the doors either on my right or the left of the stage. Thank you. With these final remarks, I want to say what a wonderful and momentous occasion it is to have earned a degree, whether it be your master's, your PhD, or your undergraduate degree. So enjoy this moment, as it is one to celebrate, and congratulations again. And with that, convocation is dismissed.
Sort of.